That was probably audible. This is the vlog for January 12th, 2019. And yeah, I pop my arm sometimes. There's a joint, probably where it rotates near the elbow, that just. I cannot really do the same thing with my left arm due to the bone in my forearm being fused to my wrist. It's the same reason I can't turn both palms upward. I can't turn this one upward specifically. But yeah, good day today. I'm really good day. Shockingly so. It got up well past 50. Um, it was completely sunny for most of the afternoon. I went out and went for a shorter walk because I decided I would be more constructive today, and I took another load of stuff down to the storage unit. Managed to get everything up to my unit in 2 trips this time instead of 3, which was nice, uh, especially since there wasn't any misty rain this time like there was last time. And then we did anime night tonight. Watched a lot of Mob Psycho 100, which is a very weird show based on the online comic from the same guy that created One Punch Man. And it uses a lot of the same sorts of subversions of expectation in shonen anime that One Punch Man does, where it's clearly somebody that is very familiar with all of the sort of workings and tropes and beats that you tend to get in shonen anime and manga, and the writer's just having fun with them. Comedy is the failure of expectation, I've heard said, and certainly you come to expect certain things when you watch enough anime of a certain style. You expect certain things, and when those things don't happen exactly the way you think they're going to happen, usually elicits a laugh. And I'm getting back into Elite Dangerous. I made a few million credits today. Gosh, I probably made about 10 million credits today. I'm a little frustrated. I've been trying to track prices of a lot of different ships. I almost said Mobile Suit. I'll get to that in a minute. And it turns out that the wiki that I usually go to for information about that kind of stuff isn't actually accurate or up to date. And the prices on other sites are more frequently updated and more accurate. So I might need to start using that instead. But I'm within a stone's throw of getting myself a Python, which was the sort of dream ship that I'd always wanted. It's significantly smaller in footprint than the Type 7 transport that I'm flying around right now, which is a great cargo hauler, but lacks completely in the way of armaments and, bells and whistles. And it just looks like a big flying box, or vaguely like a square whale. The Python is much more sleek and cool, and it can land on smaller landing pads, which opens up a lot more options for me as far as trading is concerned. So that's good. The fan in my laptop is running at full speed now. I don't know exactly why. I've only got the same stuff open that I normally have open. I'll close a couple things. See if this helps. Anyway, Mobile Suit Gundam. About, this is showing age, about 30 years ago, there was a series of light novels that were collectively called Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway's Flash. They were written as sequels to a novel series, sometimes called Belter Chica's Children. Basically, they were a novelization of the movie Mobile Suit Gundam Char's Counterattack. And the novel does things a little bit differently and actually has its own unique versions of the designs of the mobile suits as seen in the Shars Counterattack movie. Um, it really came out in 1989, and they are releasing a Hathaway's Flash movie this year. Hathaway's Flash contains a very unusual story. It's about a couple of specific characters that are related to the Shars Counterattack movie, and depending on who you talk to, it has the largest Gundam that was ever written into the main Gundam universe, also known as the Universal Century. The She Gundam and the Penelope, which is actually a sort of flight unit that wraps around the Odysseus Gundam, are gargantuan. They stand a full 8 meters taller than the original Gundam, and to give you an idea of how big that is, it's about a third taller. So the very first Gundam famously is 18 meters because the 1/100 scale model kits are 18 centimeters tall. So they really are scaled down to be 1/100th of the actual size of what they would be like in real life. The information about Gundam has been very carefully recorded and extrapolated into these model kits for years. And the She Gundam is 26 meters tall at the head. It's even got some stuff on the back that makes it even taller in the VF, and of course sticks out. But it's 26 meters tall at the head, so it's big. There have been precious few model kits of this thing over time, even fewer of the Penelope, which has this weird sort of extra anime look to it. I mean, Gundam is anime, right? Gundam has influenced the design of robots in animation for 40 years. But the She Gundam looks even more anime. I have a hard time putting it any other way. It's very stylized. And it represents a certain kind of look that was popular at the end of the 80s and then grew out of popularity in the 90s. The 90s sort of revisited a lot of things. How do I put this? A lot of Gundam went back to its roots in the 90s, and a lot of the animation that was coming out was either side stories that took place during the original 1-year war, in which the very first Gundam show is set, or alternate timelines and alternate universes that have different Gundams that still very closely match the design of the original Gundam. The Gundams within the Universal Century had gotten more and more different as time went by, and I think the creators sort of wanted to get back to their roots because they were afraid they were getting too far outside the box. We'll never know. A lot of the very outlandish Gundam designs from the middle of the 90s and late 90s were not very popular, and that sort of resulted in early 2000s the Gundam Seed series getting very much back to basics and almost being a alternate universe version of the 1-year war itself. But enough about Gundam and spaceships and weather. I'm very tired, very sleepy, and I'm going to go crawl in bed now. I'm Eric Spornitz, and tomorrow will be better.